Now, I want to make a comparison here. We're talking about the transformation. Mark chapter number 9, beginning in the 2nd verse, where Jesus took Peter, James, and John up on that mountain. Elijah and Moses appeared. Jesus began to show his deity. And, of course, my mind goes to Revelation chapter 1, where John on the Isle of Patmos saw the glorified Christ. And if you compare the descriptions, they're similar. And here is Jesus, God, man, and his deity is beginning to show through the brightness and all the things is beginning to happen here. Now, if you think about when Moses was up on the mountain receiving the 10 Commandments, and it talks about how that he saw the glory of God as God just took his hand and shielded Moses' eyes as a glory went by. And it said that when Moses came down off the mountain, they had to put a veil on his face because of the brightness of the glory of God. The difference is that Moses had to have God come by in order for that glory to come upon him. But Jesus himself was glorified. Now, the question that I would ask here is, what is this all about? What's happening here? What is the purpose of all of this? And I told you yesterday on the broadcast, and if you read the Gospel of Luke, Luke tells us that the conversation that took place here had to do with the impending death of Jesus Christ. Well, again, I'm allowing my mind to meditate on this, and it takes me to the experience in the garden of Gethsemane. And you remember how that Jesus had taken those same three, Peter, James, and John, into the sanctity of that place where he had gone to pray because of the prayer that he was to be engaged in. And I have said many, many times, I said, I believe this is where the battle took place. I mean, literally, God, man having to deal with his humanness. And as he came out of the garden there, and he found those three, they were his prayer team, his prayer warriors. They were asleep. And of course, he woke them up and he said, "Would you not pray with me for 1 hour?" And then he said those words, and I always thought that he was talking about them, Peter, James, and John. But later I said, no, I don't think so. Because Jesus said the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Because even Jesus had to deal with the man, the flesh. And I go back to this time on the mountain where these two have come to be with him and talk about his impending death. And I have to believe that this is just all of the preparation, preparing Jesus for what he eventually will do. This is Pastor Jack King with the gospel on the radio broadcast.